All right. Good late morning, everybody, I guess. Good early afternoon, whatever we want to call it. If you can hear me, can you give me a 1 in the chat box? Just number 1, if you can hear me. Kevin. Kevin is a faithful follower from Lakeland, Florida. Good morning, Kevin. Okay, people can't hear me. Me, are you still here? Monty, because I'm not going to answer your questions if you're no longer here. Mohammed, hello, Clay, best trading analysis. Oh, thanks, Mohammed. Appreciate that. I think I'm early by, a few minutes at 11:30. Again, ME, are you still here? Another crazy day in the markets. Hopefully everybody has had. Okay, you are still here? Okay. Man, for somebody that's got $3,000 to flight on flames, you sure are tight. Well, I guess that makes sense to be a tightwad after losing 3,000. But I want to be clear. Goodness, dude, I already answered these questions, my friend. I already answered these questions. After I passed the eval, I moved to the pro account at no extra cost. Correct. Yes. After you pass, that's the deal right now. Assuming you get this deal. And to those of you that are logging on, I don't mean to be frustrated, but I'm a little frustrated because you just emailed me and I answered all these questions in email. Now I'm answering them again. So it's like, I mean, if you don't trust me, that's totally cool. Like, I'm actually not offended by that. I can understand that. I'm a stranger on the internet. But like, then I would say go find somebody you do trust, because now I'm answering these questions a bunch of times. You know what I mean, man? So after you pass the test here, so let's just say you join the $50,000 account, okay? Assuming you do the promotion, which you use that link, you're going to get 30% off. And part of it is after you pass the test, when you go to the pro account, normally you would have to pay a $130 activation fee. But with the current promotion, you don't have to pay anything. So no, you don't have to pay anything after you pass. And then after that, no other fees or charges under this. After I pass this, I move to account, no extra cost. No other fees or charges under this promotion. And yes, no fee. Like, as long as you're withdrawing over $250, there's no transfer fees or anything like that. Once I'm in and trading, do any new fees kick in after the promotion? No, nope. And again, this monthly fee here is only for the test phase. After you pass, this monthly fee goes away, which is why I always recommend everybody passes within a month, which is more than reasonable with futures, because you don't want to get hit with that fee again. I swear, you better, if you sign up, you better at least use my link. This will all be worth it. But that will be like extremely doing me dirty if you have asked me these questions a million times and then you don't use the link. That would be real dirty. But I think you'll use the link. So yes, please use that link, and that'll help support the channel, and it'll give you the promotion, and it's a really good deal. Already at 10 likes. I like it. The goal last week was we worked our way up to 70 like goal. So I'm going to make it 75 today. So I'll consider this a win if we can get up to 75 likes. And if you're new to the stream, first off, welcome. But if you've been here before and you know you're going to like it, then yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. But I like for this to be viewer driven. So we usually do a variety of things. I will take requests if you're in a stock or a Forex pairing or a future, anything. I'll do any sort of analysis for you. You can make those requests. I'll answer questions. Ideally, want to do some live trading here too. Futures are, been trying to at least show people what's possible with futures and help them out, because I know a lot of people, especially those of you in stock and options, you get bogged down with the pattern day trading rule and stuff like that. But like I said, I do want to make this viewer driven, so we will kind of go wherever I kind of feel the vibes. I promise I'll use the link. Fair, good. But yes, you now have a firm understanding of how it's all working. But like I said, if you would like for me to take a look at something, let me know. And super chats, $5 super chats, make sure I will do it, and I'll do it right away. The thread is you can request something, but I'm not promising that I get to it, and I may not get to it until 30 minutes after you make the request in the chat box. But like I said, the $5 super chats, make sure I see your request or your question right away, and I'll answer the question right away, or I'll get to the request right away. But yeah, do we have any requests right now? Does anybody want me to take a look at anything? I suppose we can at least start with the overall markets here. I got a new computer over the weekend. It's awesome, but it's one of those things where you shift to a new computer, and then now I'm on Windows 11, so I'm getting used to a little bit, so I don't quite know where everything's at right off the top of my head, but we'll make it work. But yeah, so far the computer has been absolutely amazing. Blazing fast. All right, yeah, let's just check out the overall market. So SPY daily, we'll start there. So like all this stuff is all of a sudden, I had to reset up my Webull. There we go. So yeah, the big event right now, just for the overall markets, S&P down below the 200 period day simple moving average. Long-term watcher, I'm seriously considering getting into this. Are futures beginner friendly? Also, I work a 9 to 5. Is there enough volume to get in and out of trades after 5 p.m. Justin, very good questions all around. First off, they're very good for beginners, because here's the biggest problem for beginners if you want to be a day trader or stocks or options, is unless you have $25,000, you are not going to be able to be a day trader, right? You only get 3 day trades for every 5 days. But if you're a day trader, you ideally want to be making probably 3 day trades per day, if not more than that. But you're not going to be able to do that. So from a beginner standpoint, even if you have more than 25,000, there's still a lot of other headaches that comes with it. But yes, they're very beginner friendly in the sense of, if you want to be a day trader, you can actually be a day trader and have as many day trades as you want. Plus, if you use a prop firm, there's a very good way to manage risk, because as a beginner, I think we've all been there, and we all still have those messed up moments where like, well, that was stupid, or you lose your mind, you go on tilt, you start revenge trading, you start forcing trade. I mean, with anybody that's actually traded, you know all the different mind games that can go on. But with prop firms, you get a situation where, your risk is only what you purchased an account for. So for what you see on the screen there, for $119, you're getting $50,000 of purchasing power. And then you have to, in order to pass the test, you've got to make 3,000, but you're not allowed to lose more than 2,000. But let's just say you have one of those moments where you lose your mind, and you do learn something. So it's like, wow, I can't believe I did that, but I learned a lot. The question just boils down to, what does the "but I learned a lot" actually cost you? If you're using your own money, it could very realistically have just cost you $2,000. But if you're trading futures through a prop firm, the "but I learned a lot" only cost you $119. Because sure, they will take the account away from you because you failed, but you can always try again. But like I said, from just a learning standpoint, again, going back to the premise of the question, you being a beginner, I would rather have a beginner having those, oh, whoops, that was stupid, but I learned a lot. I'd rather have the "but I learned a lot" cost you $119 as opposed to $2,000 of your own money. So yes, futures are very good for beginners because of those reasons and other reasons, but mainly no pattern day trading rule. And then with prop firms, as I just explained, the risk is very well managed. And then you asked about, 9 to 5. That's the other thing. They're open around the clock. And yes, are they as volatile at 5 p.m. Eastern time? They're not. But once again, under the premise of your question, as a beginner, you don't need something that's going bonkers all over the place. You actually want something that's going a little, slower. So yeah, there's still opportunity to make money. But yeah, it's not going to be crazy. But like I said, if you're a beginner, you don't necessarily want crazy right away. Up to 23 likes already. Very good. But yeah, good question, Justin. Hopefully I answered it. But so back to S&P again. If you have a request for something, let me know in the chat box, and I'll do my best to get to it. But again, the $5 super chats will happen. So yeah, that's the big dynamic here, down below the 200-day simple moving average, and then you can see right here just a classic example. Price broke down below it right there, came back up. So in the world of charts, you'd expect this support to act as resistance. And I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Came back up and look right where it got rejected back down. Right off of the pink line, back down the price went. So classic example there of resistance behaving as support. Down on the 30-minute. I don't think we're probably going to get a whole lot more. Yeah, okay, so 30-minute, really still all about, in my opinion at least, that purple line there, 50 period moving average. You can see several times the price has been up around that area, and it just, it's not necessarily a problem of breaking through that level, but staying above it has become the problem. So even if the price comes up here and gets above that purple line again, the question not necessarily is, can the price break above it, but can the price stay up above that area? Because that's certainly been where the problems have really arisen from. So that's, but yes, overall, markets today, rough start to the week. Qs, I'm assuming, Really? Nobody has a request for anything? Maybe everybody's just here, just wants to see the live trade and just wants to see futures. I don't know. If that's the case too, that's fine too. Let me know in the chat box. Like I said, I want this to be viewer driven, but when I don't get any feedback, then I kind of got to guess. So if you give me feedback though, and that's the benefits. It is a smaller stream. I mean, we got about 50 people here right now, which is great. I'd like to get these bigger, but when a smaller streams, I'm going to see all the messages, and it can definitely be a. Is S&P going to pump lunchtime? Well, that tells me you have a faulty understanding of charts. This is not a crystal ball. Nothing is going to tell me what's going to happen. So I have no idea if it's going to pump at lunchtime. I have no idea. All I know is that if you think you see something that leads you to believe that, that's fine. But that's why you got to have a stop loss, because nobody knows for sure. So yeah, but like I said, Lalith. I'm apologize if I'm mispronouncing your name, Lalith. I think you have a little bit of a faulty impression of what and how technical analysis works. It's not a crystal ball. Nothing can tell the future. Anybody that is telling you that something tells the future, they are lying to you. There is nothing. Technical analysis is just the way to try to manage the unknown. So you were just trying to manage things because we don't quite know. Yeah, we can maybe find some probabilities in our favor, find some edges, but at the end of the day, nobody knows. So that's why you gotta, manage the unknown mainly by managing risk. SNOA for after I trade the 50,000 for a while and want to upgrade to 100, do I have to pay the fee for that account? Yes, you have to, because you can have up to 5 accounts. So every account you've got to pay for and you've got to pass the test. But once you pay for and pass all those tests and you have 5 accounts, then you can do something called copy trading, meaning you can make one trade and then copy that same trade to the 4 other accounts. So let's say you make $100 on one trade, but then you copy it to the other accounts. Well, technically you just made $500 because you made that one $100 trade 5 times. Or, if you make, $300 on that one trade, but you copy it, well, now you made that one $300 trade 5 times, meaning you made $1,500. So yes, copy trading is another very, very powerful aspect of prop firms. And yeah, the gains can add up very quickly. Now, granted, that's a two-sided coin. If you don't know what you're doing, the failure will add up that much quicker. But yes, to answer your question, you do have to you can get up to 5 of them, but each time you do have to pay for that account and then go through the test. So SNOA. So daily chart here. Do I have any copy traders? I use Tradovate, and Tradovate has a built-in copy trader. So yeah, I don't have to worry about any of that because I would just use Tradovate's copy trader. So let's see, SNOA daily, not really telling us a whole lot other than it gapped up this morning, made a big move, and I think that there were some poor souls that were buying up there. Hopefully they were using stop losses because at this point they're having a not so good of a day. It is still staying above that purple line there, 50-day simple moving average, so that's good. So here I would say the very important level to watch would be the 200 period moving average right there, because even if the price came down there and then bounced around and started to curl back up, what would you still have from the bigger picture standpoint? Well, you'd still have a set of lows right there. You'd have lows down there, and if you envision those as stair steps, you'd still have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So, and that value right now is at $2.40, the pink line. So I'd say that's a very, very important level here via the 30-minute, and then 5 minutes probably going to be way too choppy because it's, yeah. I mean, I suppose here on the 5-minute, you could say you have a bit of a, whoops. All right, that's what I meant. I was, there we go. Everything's kind of a little backwards. I'm on a new computer here. So on the 5-minute time frame, if there's going to be any sort of, attempted curl back upwards, looking like 278 is that key level that's been stubborn. Yeah, no, it is cool. It is the copy trade. And like I said, it's an amazing thing, but it cuts it both ways. If you don't know what you're doing, well, then, yeah, it just means, because if you take one bad trade, but then you copy that to the 4 other accounts, well, you just took 5 bad trades. So, yes, it's definitely something that is amazing from a potential standpoint, but you got to be careful just because things can spin out of control quickly if you don't know what you're doing. Nubs, hey Clay, if I remember right, aren't you the 17-year-old? Just wondering what happened after your take profit didn't hit, even though it went over the line. Just wondering what happened, even though your take profit didn't hit. I don't know what I'm not sure what you're referring to. I've not made any trades on this one. Ooh, look at this pullback. So just out of curiosity here, who here has never heard of futures or has never traded futures? Give me the number 5 in the chat box. Again, I've never traded futures or I've never even heard of futures. Give me a 5 in the chat box. I'm trying to figure out who the... Meaning, I'm guessing you either just trade stocks or options or Forex or crypto. Oh, come on, Kevin. Oh, maybe Kevin just giving me one because he hasn't traded them. But I know you've heard of them because you've heard me talk about them many times on this. Yes, Frank, I remember your name. Never traded. Okay. So for the people that have never traded them and you're still... I'm assuming you kind of heard them from here. Like, why? What is holding you back? Why have you not started to trade them? I'm curious. Like, what is keeping you in the waste of time world? Wow. Okay. So of those of you that have heard of them, I'm assuming a lot of you, when I say the pattern day trading rule, it just severely annoys you. Is that fair? For those of you that are in the world of stock and options, pattern day trading rule, is that like a very annoying rule? I don't want to speak for you. That's why I'm asking for your feedback. Oh, no, yeah, I don't remember much about that one. Again, pattern day trading rule. Is that like a super annoying rule? Yep. So pattern day trading rule, what that means is that unless you have $25,000, you cannot day trade as much as you want. I'm just learning futures trading. Good. So if you have under 25,000, then you're not able to day trade as much as you want. You can only do 3 day trades, which means you can buy and sell in the same day, only 3 times every 5 days. And then, yes, thank you, Justin. But Justin says, yes, it is. And then cash account. Some people are like, well, you can get around it by using a cash account. But as Justin just pointed out, which is true, then you have to wait for the money to settle. So it's still a headache. But in the world of futures, there's no pattern day trading rule. So I would argue from that viewpoint alone, it is just way better than stocks and options, just on that reason alone. No pattern day trading rule. So yeah, I think that'd be a good thing. But so no pattern day, and that's just reason number 1. I personally think stocks, options, Forex, and crypto are a waste of time. I get it. That's kind of a bold statement. Maybe that slightly offends you, but like I said, I think I can bring a very persuasive case to the table. And my first bit of evidence, like I just talked about, no pattern day trading rule. Rule number 2, or reason number 2, I should say, they're basically open around the clock. So you can find some place in your schedule to trade them. Now, they're not open on Saturdays, but they are open essentially around the clock. A whole lot of flexibility for you to be able to find a time where you could trade them. So they, if they're not open on Saturdays, when do they open back up? They open up on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Reason number 3, if you're trading these, you're probably like, I want volatility. I need things that are moving. I want, I just need movement. I need that volatility. So a lot of people are into shorting penny stocks or shorting micro caps or all this stuff. And that's fine. There can be very big moves. But what comes along with that is you have to locate shares. And for any of you that do this, you know exactly what I mean. You have to locate shares and you have to pay extra to locate shares. And it's a massive hassle. In the world of futures, you just short. You just can go short. And that means making money if prices go down. So if you're a beginner, that's what going short means, making money when prices drop. And in futures, you just do it. You don't have to pay extra. You don't have to locate anything. You just do it. Another reason, you know what you're going to trade. Every single day, I'm trading the same thing. So I don't waste any time running scanners, looking for the hot stocks, looking for what's moving, checking out the news. None of that. I just show up and you're ready to go. So, just from a time management standpoint of not having to deal with all the scanners and this and that. Now, I get it. If you're someone that's like selling scanners and stuff like that, you don't like that. You don't like futures at all. You're like, no, I want people to stay in stocks because I sell scanners. So I need people to stay in stocks so that they want to buy my scanner. It's like, I understand it from the business standpoint. Fine. But the reality is in futures, you know what you're going to trade. You show up and you just trade it every single day. So massive time savings. And then I mean, there are so many other reasons, but let's see. What am I trading? Right now, we are looking at the MNQ. When using Tradovate and in that test mode, say 60 Microsoft, is that at once or per day? Oh, the micros, not Microsoft, micros. That's at once? That's at, okay. So what he's asking, and this is the other thing, is the math is so easy. I know one part of it is, well, how much can I actually buy of a futures contract? Because in futures, you're not buying shares, you're buying contracts. And with the prop firm, which is what I would highly recommend using, it's what I use. It's how I go about it. Futures is very risky. I fully disagree. And I'm going to prove to you why I disagree. So thank you for bringing that up. Because I've always asked people, like, challenge me. Like, tell me how futures are not better. So I have a little bit of a challenge, which I appreciate. Futures is very risky. Well, first off, crossing the street is also very risky, right? That's why we're taught as kids. That's like the first thing of risk management we're taught as kids. But if you have a strategy before crossing the street, then it becomes a lot better, right? It becomes a lot less risky. What is that strategy? What does everybody say before you cross the street, right? Look both ways before you cross the street. And so anything is very risky without a strategy. But yeah, futures is very risky, but I would argue less risky, and I'll talk about there in just a second. But as far as how much can you buy, it's very, very straightforward. Sophie has, okay. And then Andrew's talking about SOFI. So Andrew, does that mean that you're into stocks? Because SOFI, that's another example of why it would be better, or why futures would be better. Because here we have somebody, I appreciate Andrew's heart. He thinks SOFI has been interesting. Maybe it's been interesting, but I guarantee you it's been nowhere close to as profitable as what the futures have been today. And so that's that. I'm getting all sorts of examples. But back here, so you buy an account, you buy purchasing power, $50,000 for 119. Now the question is, okay, well, I don't understand the math of futures. How much does one futures contract cost? But with a prop firm, you know the math right up front. It tells you right here, the most you could buy, and there's two types of contracts out there. The very volatile contracts, you could buy up to 6 of those. The less volatile contracts, you could buy up to 60 of them. And the question, you can do this over and over again. So that's not max per day, that's just max per trade. So if you wanted to, you could do a 60 micro trade, buy, sell, then do another 60 micro trade, buy, sell. So that is just max per trade, not per day or anything like that, per trade. And then what else? Oh, and then futures are very risky. So, okay, Lalith, again, I apologize if I mispronounce your name. Lalith says it's very risky. Okay, well, Lalith, you are free to go use your own money in stocks or whatever you're trading. But, you know, when you do something stupid, and we all do something stupid, so it's not a if, it's just a when. We all have those bad days where we go on tilt, we lose our minds. We're just going to have a bad day. Sometimes you're actually having a fine day, and then just a crazy move happens. And you're like, wow, I was being disciplined, but that move was just crazy. It came out of nowhere. Those things can also happen. But if you're using your own money, Lilith, and one of those crazy moves happen, you lose $2,000. I mean, that's $2,000 of your own money. In the world of futures and through a prop firm, you would only lose what it cost you to buy the account. And in this situation, that would be $119. Now I'm like, well, I don't even put $2,000 in a trade. Point being, when you have those really bad days or bad moves happen and you lose a big chunk of money, my point is, within a prop firm, your risk is hedged because your risk is only the cost of the account. So from that angle, I would argue futures are way less risky through a prop firm. I was talking about this earlier, but I would rather have one of those, whoops, that was dumb, but I learned a lot. I would rather have one of those moments cost me $119 as opposed to $2,000. And the reason why $2,000 is important is if you were to lose $2,000 in the prop firm account, then you would testily have failed the challenge, failed the test, and they would take the account away from you. You can always try again, but you would have failed. But again, yeah, you lost $2,000, but you didn't lose $2,000 of your money. You only lost $119. And then, so SOFI. Let's look at SOFI because that's been very interesting. And then we're going to look at a futures. So SOFI. Huh? Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, there's a big gap down, but yeah, there's not a whole lot. Like, look at the distance here. So from this point up to this point, that is 20 cents. So that is a 20-cent move. So how many shares? Bring that over. So how many shares do it? So let's say you had 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares, and you got a 20-cent move. So that's $2,000. If you had 2,000 or if you had 10,000 shares, that distance right there could have made you $2,000. But how much would 10,000 shares require of your own money? Well, if this thing is basically $12 times 10,000, so I mean, you would need $120,000 to have, had that 20-cent move give you $2,000. That is a lot of, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Whereas in the world of futures, let's look at the futures chart real quick. And keep in mind that distance wasn't a huge distance. But even right here, so from this point up to here, and I'm not saying any of this is easy. I'm assuming that you played it perfectly. But that distance right there, depending on the type of contract and how many contracts, that move there would have been potentially tens of thousands of dollars, and you could have gotten access to that kind of move for, now you'd have needed probably a little bit of a bigger account, but let's say you did the $100,000 purchasing power. So for $231, you would have had access to make potentially tens of thousands of dollars. Whereas on that stock, what did we just see? Well, you would have needed over $100,000 to get those 10,000 shares to take advantage of that little distance that was, for $2,000. So the bang for your buck is so much better with futures and with prop firms. Now, there is a lot of leverage. That's where the bang for the buck comes from. That's why risk management is very, very important. But again, it goes back to the built-in risk management. If you do something really stupid, you get caught in a move. So on the $100,000 account, they'll let you lose up to $3,000. But if you lose $3,000, because for one of those just you lose your mind type days, or you just got caught in a crazy move, you didn't actually lose $3,000 of real money. You only lost $230. So that's why I would argue they're less risky and they're so much better moving than stocks. I'm not trying to pick on you, Andrew, but yeah, SOFI has not been interesting. There is absolutely nothing interesting about this chart from a trading standpoint. Why? Again, look at that big move down. Yeah, that was like about 40-cent move. 40-cent move on futures. That same amount is just, it's like a drop in the bucket. What broker do I, again, $5 super chats. If you want me to get to your question right away, a $5 super chat makes that happen. Others, I know you've asked these questions like 10, 15 minutes ago, but again, I'm got to take them in order. But if you want me, or if you have a request, if you'd like for me to take a look at a stock that you're in or whatever, just let me know and I'll get to it right away with the $5 super chats. But if you don't, like I said, you'll just have to risk me not seeing the question or just me taking a long time to get to it. So what broker do you recommend on trade? On Take Profit Trader, I think is what you mean. I know you use Tradovate, and there's a million. Yeah, I would definitely use Tradovate. So once you sign up, and then you go through the process, it'll ask you what platform do you want to use. I use this one right here, Tradovate. That is what you've been witnessing. Is Tradovate? If you already have a TradingView account, you can trade them through your TradingView account if you want. I know that's a very popular platform out there, but I use Tradovate. I really enjoy them. What prop firm do you advise for a beginner? The one that I'm using, Take Profit Trader, this one right here. And if you use that link that's on top of your screen, it'll take you to here. It'll automatically implement the current promotion. So that's what I recommend. I like Take Profit Trader. And the main reason for them is, and this is not to say that other prop firms aren't a scam, because they do pay, but other prop firms, when you get to the pro level accounts and you start making money, they'll say, well, you can only request money maybe once every couple of weeks. And you can only request up to, $2,000 or something. Now, again, that doesn't mean they're a scam and they'll pay. They have a track record of paying. My point is, I'd rather be able to make money and then that same exact day be like, hey, I made money. I want to request that money. I want that money into my accounts. And that's what Take Profit Trader will let you do. You can request multiple times a day and in any amount. So that right there is what separates them. Now, they are a little bit more expensive up front. That is true. But I would rather pay a little more up front and then just have the flexibility of being paid when I want and so on and so forth. Whereas other prop firms, yeah, maybe they have like insane big discounts. But then on the backside, it's like, okay, now you got to go through an even longer testing period. And then you can only request money every so often. And it gets a little bit more messy. But Take Profit Trader is very, very straightforward, especially from a rule standpoint. So as a beginner, yeah, that would be even more of a reason. Have you had any issues cashing out? I have not, nor am I aware of any members having issues. Hey, Clay, I purchased a take profit trader account from your link. I said, awesome, Noah. Fantastic. Risk 120 to make two. I mean, technically, you're not risking 120 because that would imply that you'd let the position go to zero. I mean, I understand what you mean. You're putting 120,000 into it, but that's not actually your risk. Oh, but yes, either way, the fact that you need that much capital to even have a chance at 2,000, whereas with futures, maybe you need $200 for a bigger account. I mean, yeah. Do they take a cut of your profits? Good question, and I should have addressed that. Yes, they do, which makes sense to me. I mean, what's in it for them? Well, that's right. This is not a charity. They're in it to make money too. So once you pass the test, so you have your test phase, then you would move into a pro account. So pro account, you would get to keep 80% of what you make. If you go up to a pro plus account, then you would be able to keep 90% of what you make. So that is how it works, which I think given your capital that you have at risk from the get-go, I mean, I would argue that makes quite a bit of risk versus reward sense. Okay, I'm here to see your futures trading. Good. So now maybe people are wondering, okay, Clay, well, how you say these things are great for all these reasons, but like how volatile are they actually? What can I expect from a volatility standpoint? So if that's kind of where you're at, can we get this up to 40 likes before I do? Only 6 likes away. And I'll do some live trades here. But I want to show people what you could expect from a volatility standpoint. That way you can I'm not here to tell you whether or not it's volatile. I'm here to just try to hopefully educate you and for you to make that determination yourself. Is this actually volatile? Well, I want to be able to show that. But I'd like to get up to at least 40 likes, which is only 6 away. Can we get up to 40 likes? There we go, 37. Come on, 3 more. 3 more likes, and then I will get on a live trade here. And you guys can see. There we go, 40. Nice. Okay, so the way that futures work, some more education here. It says pro current are simulated and pro are live. Yes, because once you become a really, really good trader, then they want you live on a live account. Because that way, if you're out there crushing it, you could literally, an awesome trader could bankrupt a prop firm account if they don't get you on live accounts. I mean, I don't know if I can deal with that much more. You are so skeptical. Like either, let me put it this way, Emmy, and I don't mean to be a jerk to anybody here, but if you're looking and you're like, I don't know, $105, I just can't risk $105. Then, I mean, honestly, trading that you shouldn't even be trading. You should be focused on other areas of your finances, right? I mean, again, I realize money doesn't grow on trees. I value I value $1, but like if you're so skeptical to the point where you're kind of like Emmy. It seems to be freaking out about stuff now. Like, what about this? What about this? It's like, dude, it's $105. It's $105. Just try it. And let's just assume worst case, it's a total scam. Let's say let's say I'm a part of the scam. Let's just assume the worst case scenario. You're out $105. Now, again, if that's going to like ruin your life, then I would encourage you to, focus on some other things within your personal finances. But at some point, you just gotta make the move. I mean, it's $105. I know you have questions, but you keep asking the same questions over and over again. You're emailing me the same questions over and over again. Now, if this was like $10,000, I get it. But you're asking so many questions like it costs $10,000 to do this, or even $1,000, or even $500. It's not though. Yeah, exactly. You asked me 2 times, and I answered the first one. Then you asked me again because I guess you didn't trust me. Again, I'm not trying to come across as rude, but Emmy is like busting my chops over all this, asking me the same question multiple times. And it's just like, if you don't trust me, I'm not offended by that. That's cool. Like, I get it. I'm an internet stranger. But like, then go find somebody you do trust. Don't keep asking me the same things over and over again. All right. Everybody that trades stocks daily like me for 2 years short and long, it takes a long time to reach 10,000 with futures. You can potentially double that in weeks. Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Yeah, exactly. That's why I love to hear from people. And so far, the live stream, I think we're at 3 weeks now, or maybe 3.5 weeks. But I love seeing when people show up and they're like, hey, Clay, I saw a future, no pun intended, I saw a previous a webinar about you talking about futures, and now I've been doing them, and not a webinar, a live stream, and wow. And I'm like, so are they better? Was I like over exaggerating? And so far I'm batting 100%. Not a single person been like, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. Everybody's like, whoa, these things are awesome. So the way futures works is this. There are two types. You have, or let me take it back. The one I would recommend you start with is MNQ. MNQ. The NQ is telling you that it's monitoring the NASDAQ market. And then the M stands for micro, meaning it's gonna have smaller risk. Now, of course, smaller gains, but when you're just getting started, you need to just be very, very cautious. And then there's the NQ. And the NQ, these are the volatile beast. I mean, crazy, crazy action here. So those are, when I say there's two types of contracts, less volatile and more volatile, the less volatile are the micros, the MNQ, and that's what I'm going to show you. And then the very volatile ones are just the NQ. So what I want to show you here is just how volatile the bare minimum could be. So I'm going to do one contract of the MNQ. So one contract of the smallest that you could have. All right, let's put it, there we go. Okay. So right up here, I'm doing one contract, MNQ. And what I want you to watch is this number down here. And I just want you to ask, well, how do you feel? Does that number seem like it's jumping around a lot? Does it seem like it's volatile? Again, let's do this. I'm going to go short if it hits that red line. So if the price hits that red line, then I'm going to get short. Short means I want to make money when prices go down. And then again, I want you, and I'm not saying to follow me. This is for educational purposes only. I'm an idiot. I don't know what I'm talking about. Do not follow me. This is not advice. Okay, I'm in. So let me get my stop in real quick. Okay. So watch this number right here. Again, how do you feel about how that number is changing? If you're saying that is way too slow, Clay, what are you doing? Why would I bother with that? Totally get it. Totally understand. The solution to that would be you can change that number right there. The higher you make that number, the more volatile this number right here is going to become. Okay, so if you think this is way too slow, remember, this is the bare minimum of volatility that you could get in a position. Bare minimum. So if it's too slow for you, just realize that you could change that number and you could raise that. How high could you raise it? Well, it all depends on the size of the account. But if you're doing the bare minimum account size, so let me bring that over here real quick. So let's just say you did 25,000, then you could raise that number up to 30 because the micros, again, are the less volatile ones. So the number that you see at 1 right now, that could be taken up to 30. So that's why I say, if this is too slow for you, totally fine. Just understand that you could increase this one up to 30. Up to 30, and this is only one. So we'll see if this thing does actually want to come down through the trend line or if it's going to bounce. If he has questions, more people he is asked better than just ask. If he has questions, more people he asks is better than asking asking one. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Craig. If he has questions, more people he asks is better than asking just one person. I'm not quite sure I follow. What up, Clay? I found your videos and I have a lot to watch and learn about futures. Awesome, Patrick. I'm glad I got you interested in futures. That's great. Daryl, trying to pass my account with 1 micro on MNQ. I'm up 900. I know. So right there, look at Daryl's message. I'll bring this over for the... Where'd my cursor go? There we go. All right, getting close to my stop. I think maybe I think you just add in a couple extra words there, Craig. But yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly what you're gonna. But I mean, like I said, this is good, smooth action. It's lunchtime, right? Think about, in stocks, like, oh, it's lunchtime. It's like, now there's nothing that can happen. So there we go. That blue line is my entry point. So if it drops down below the blue line, this number over here will turn green. So let's see if we can indeed get a break to the downside, or is this thing just going to break my heart here? Again, this is not for anything other than just showing you how the volatility works. Okay, I'm out there just because you got plenty of that one, and we can do another one. No, that's not that, Emmy. It's the fact that you don't seem to be trusting me, and then you keep, like, If you want to know every little nook and cranny, I mean, and all, just pull up they have great live chat. You can ask them, be like, wait, why do you do this versus that? Like, you can ask them, that's fine. But like, at the end of the day, your core concern should be, am I going to get paid? Whether it's sim or a live account, am I going to get paid? Yes, you're going to get paid. I've been paid. Members of the community have been paid. You will get paid. Like, maybe you're just a super curious guy, which is fine. I'm an engineer by degree, so I can get curious about things. But like, for this, is at some point you just gotta make the move. And like I said, for prop firms, the core concern should always be: does this prop firm actually have do they have a history of paying people? Like, people make money. Do they actually get the profits that they've made? And with take profit, yes, they do. Volume doesn't matter much in futures. Yeah, and volume's not a huge concern. Like the video, guys. I think Craig tried to say it is good to ask multiple people about prop firms and get the facts. Oh, yeah, I would agree with that. So I'm curious, like, for those of you that just saw that number fluctuating down there, I mean, what were your thoughts? Did you think that was pretty volatile, or do you think it was kind of slow? Again, if you did think it was slow, not a big deal. So let me just show you how, I mean, maybe you're saying, wait, Clay, so bare minimum, I could still only change it up to 30 contracts? Well, for this size account, if you wanted to go and buy $50,000 of buying power, then you could have taken that number again. The number that you saw was one contract. You could take that up to 60. Maybe like, that's still too much. Okay, fine. You could come up and get $150,000 purchasing power, and you could have taken that number up to 150. 150. That, and all I had was just the one. Fair enough. That's fair enough, Emmy. Fair enough. And I'm just telling you, you're going too far into the details. Like, at the end, the only detail you should ultimately care about is, do these people pay out? Because yeah, there have been some very shady prop firms that the CEO is living all the life, and not paying anybody out, which is why I was very particular in who I wanted to align with. So I'm not like, other line streamers that, they're recommending like 18 different prop firms. That's not me. I'm doing one that I think I believe in, because they keep it simple. I can understand the rules. They do pay, all that. But yes, eventually you move to live. Even the pro account is a simulator account. But after you make, I think it's like $10,000, they're like, okay, you're a really good trader. We got to get you to live trading at this point, because we can't keep paying you $10,000 out of our pocket. We need to start to pay you out of the market's pocket. So that's why eventually you do go to live, which I like, because that means it's a sustainable business model for the prop firm itself. If a prop firm is just always constantly paying out of their own pocket, it's not going to work. They're going to go bankrupt. So you can't make more than a certain amount for the 105. No, you can make for the 105 monthly amount. No, you can make any amount. Well, let me take that back. When you're doing this, you only want to make 1,500, because that'll pass you. You have, the test is at least 5 days. Now you can take longer, but you have to trade for at least 5 days. And then after you go to the pro account, then you can make as much as you want. But in the test phase, it does you no good to go up way above there, because the goal is just to get to 15. So in the ideal world, you make like $1,500.25, and that would be the ideal scenario. So yes, in this phase, it does you no good to go super high above there, because this is just the test phase. This is where you have to prove yourself as a trader. Okay, good. Makes sense. Very good. Great questions. Great questions. Emmy, good. I got a good. Makes sense. Fantastic. I'm new here. Can you trade options on here? No, don't waste your time with options. Options are definitely a massive waste of time compared to futures. Options. Think about theta, right? Something goes, so in options, when the price goes sideways, what is this doing to your options position? It's killing it, because theta is eroding the value of it, right? I mean, sideways action is the enemy of an options trader, assuming you're going long the options, because theta is just eroding it. In futures, it doesn't matter. Your value is not changing at all. Not to mention options, you got to figure out like, okay, what strike price should I be trading? What delta should I be trading? Should I do that? And it's like, that's what I mean by a time saver. In futures, it's like, no, every morning I show up, I know that I'm going to be looking at MNQ and NQ, and that's it. And I don't have to consider, okay, now what strike price? No, none of that stuff. None of that stuff. It's just, Get away from, run far away from options. No, I have classes on options because I realized, wait, I'm filled? What happened? Did I forget to cancel something? Oh, my stop loss. I never canceled my stop loss out, so I just got long at that line. Okay, so here we go. Watch that number. This is what happens when you forget to cancel stop losses, and I just got hit. So I just went long at that blue line. Why didn't somebody tell me that I forgot to cancel my stop? There we go. We're getting a move up through. So again, watch that number. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about how that number is fluctuating? All right, I'm out there just because I did not even mean to take that. So the other lesson, and I failed a couple of tests because of this, is you. All right, let's get this out of the way a little bit more. This button right here absolutely needs to become your best friend. If you're using Trade-O-Vate, that button right there. Whenever you are done with the trade or doing anything, press that button. It cancels everything. I did not press it, and I left my stop loss out there, which was a buy order. And then as I was speaking, the price came up there, hit it, and then I was in a position all of a sudden. I've had some where I'm just not even at the computer, and I come back, and it's a train wreck. So, yes, learn to love that button right there. If there's one tip I could give you, be obsessive compulsive about that button and press it. As soon as the trade ends, come up here, just click it. Make sure that everything's canceled out. Even if you're just sitting there every once in a while, maybe just click it because, maybe you forgot something. But, yeah, that's, don't, whew, that could have been bad. Oh, Joseph did try to tell me. Joseph was like, close your stop or you will buy there. Thank you, Joseph. I apologize. I didn't. Well, I'm still going to blame you, Joseph. Why don't you give me a super chat for that, Joseph? Then I would have seen it right away. So Joseph is a scumbag for telling me but not doing it so I would see it via super chat. No. Thank you, Joseph. You were right. Thank you for the warning. At 52 likes. Nice. If you are enjoying, make sure you hit that like button. And what I'm doing here is I'm showing people futures through a prop firm. So for you stock traders out there, options traders, my number one argument to those of you would be there's no pattern day trading rule. So if you are in the world of stocks and options and that rule is just annoying you because I want to be a day trader, but then this rule says I can only do 3 day trades every 5 days, right then in and of itself does not exist. That's not a concern within the world of futures. And then you use prop firms and you can get, you have your risk managed for you. Is that a refundable super chat? Yeah, it should be. I personally recommend watching hit. Hey, Casey, can you check Bitcoin on the daily? I know you don't like crypto, but what's your thoughts? No, I just don't. I don't like stocks, options, forex, or crypto from a day trading standpoint. But if you're in Bitcoin for like some sort of investment, okay, fair enough. I mean, I invest in stocks, so I don't have any. I am within the category of day trading. If you show up and say, I want to be a day trader, then yes, all those other things are worthless. They're a waste of time. They're not worthless. They're a waste of time, though. Let's see. Telling people I got a new computer built for me, and I have Windows 11, so everything's a little bit off now. But all right, Bitcoin, we wanted, he said at the daily. Yes, let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Oh, boy. Uh-oh. Well, it's not the end of things right now for Bitcoin, but I will say that, you can see right there the 200 period moving average, that pink line was doing a good job of maybe holding up, but it has now it failed on Monday. Hey, cool, Noah. Thank you for the super chat. That's fantastic. That account size you see right there, that's $150,000 one. But yes, so it broke down through the 200-day simple moving average on Friday, and then it did try to come back up. So right there, you can see earlier today how the price came up and just got rejected back off it. So again, the classic example of the 200-day as a support, and then when they're broken, they tend to act as resistance. And then when it came back up, it did indeed act as resistance right there before getting pushed back down. Now, I do note that, okay, it's not looking great, but there's still some hope, and the hope is everything to do with that right there. The price is still maintaining above, let's just call it 78,000. That's the low that it had a couple weeks ago. And I don't know, today, does it go down there and test it? Maybe. But that'll be the big question mark moving forward. If that level does not hold up, then yeah, next key level I would say is that white line there. That white line, going back to the history of things, you can see was a former area of resistance. And then when resistances are broken, you want to see them act as support, which is what happened there. And then when you fast forward here to where we're at now, that would be where I would think it would be headed. Again, there's no guarantees, but if the price comes down here, and especially if it's a higher volume break, then I can very realistically see the price head down there to 74,000. Again, no guarantees, but yeah, this failure on Friday down below the 200-day, that did not set the... I'm sorry, that was not Friday. That would have been yesterday because crypto is open 24/7. So on Sunday, when the price came down here and broke down below there, not a good weekend, and it seems as though the momentum is carrying in. So unless you're short, I don't know. I guess I'm assuming you're long, but if you're short, then yeah, you got a great movement here over the weekend, and now it's just a question of, you want to see this $78,000 mark. Like, this is your kind of your mortal enemy right now. But if that can fail, then yeah, I like the chance. I don't think anybody would be shocked if the Bitcoin then went down to 74,000. Again, does not mean it's guaranteed to happen, but I don't think anybody would be caught off guard. Mad Mac, aside from the lack of PDD, how does trading futures differ from just simply trading indexes? Oh, well, I mean, so if you want to trade the SPY, so very good question. So let's say Mad Max. So Mad Max, like, well, why can't we just trade the SPY? So let's just assume like pattern day trade rules, not a problem for him because he's got over $25,000. Okay, well, if you want to make, any sort of, decent money on, just trading the S&P 500, and let's say you want to get up to, 100 shares, right? Because on the SPY, every dollar that it would move, if you had 100 shares, that'd be $100 in your pocket, right? So think about the capital required to just trade the SPY. Again, we're assuming that, where'd my calculator go? Again, I apologize. New computer. So I'm new on Windows 11. So it's right around, let's say, $560. So if you wanted 100 shares at $560 per share, that means you need to have $56,000. Now, maybe let's just say you have $25,000 and you have 4-to-1 leverage. So you have $100,000 of purchasing power. Still, even with that, you can't even get up to 200 shares. So that means that, let's just say you can somehow. Let's say you're able to get up to 200 shares. So 200, and then if each one's cost $560 per, so then let's say you have $112,000 for 200 shares. That means for every dollar the SPY moves, you're making $200. Okay? Every dollar the SPY moves with 200 shares, you're making $200. Now let's hop over to futures. And look at this. So this distance right here. So from here up to here, in futures talk, that is 20 points. Okay, so that distance right here, I'm going to put a 20 right there, is 20. 20 points. So the question becomes, well, how much is a point worth? In the world of futures, on the highly volatile contracts, 1 point is worth $20. Okay? 1 point is worth $20. So if this little space here, if this was 20 points, well, then how much would one of the very volatile contracts be worth? Well, let's go through it. So if 1 point is worth 20, and I just said that little space there represents 20, so we got to multiply that by 20 points, that's $400. You could have made $400 in that little space using one contract of the very volatile contracts. And how much money would that require me? Remember, our backbone or our baseline for SPY is $112,000 would be required. How much would be required in futures through a prop firm? Well, through the prop firm, you could go and for $105, you could get up to those, you could buy up to 3 of those very volatile. Remember, I was only doing 1. So that little movement on one of these was $400. Yet you could actually have done up to 3 of these for how much? It would have cost you $105, which gives you the $25,000 in purchasing power. So Mad Mac, do you kind of see why the capital required for stocks and SPY compared to futures is just like, future, is that like it almost feels like a scam. Like, what's the catch here? But the catch is there is a lot of leverage. There's a lot of leverage that's built into futures, which does make it risky, but that's also why I think the prop firms make so much sense, because even if you were to do something stupid, you get caught in a really nasty move, and you go and you lose the $1,500, which would cause you to fail this test. You didn't still lose $1,500 of your money. You only lost the cost of the account, and the cost of the account was $105. So does that make sense to people? Give me I'm curious. Give me a number one in the chat box if that all made sense about how just the capital requirements are so bonkers for futures compared with, the SPY, for example. Did that explanation make sense? Like, do you see just whoa, that's crazy. I mean, $112,000 to make $200, and that still requires the SPY to move an entire dollar. Where on this thing, right there, highly volatile contract, that distance right there, which is 20 points, that's $400 right there. That movement right there would be worth $400 with only one highly volatile contract. If you did three, well, that's $1,200. And you could have, now that if it goes against you, they add up quickly against that way. So you got to keep that in mind. But just from the capital's perspective, it's like, goodness. All right. Look at that. Double bottom right off these lows here. Do I try a long? I would like to make another. Where are we at likes? Come on, let's get up to 65. Let's get up to 65 likes. I'll make another live trade. And I do this again because I want this to be viewer driven. If you don't want me to do live trades, that's okay. But if you do, then like I said, super chats and hitting that like button is a way to communicate to me that you're enjoying the live trades. You want to see more live trades. Dan is already long. Very good. Dan looking to play the double bottom. What are you trading, MNQ or NQ or ES? What are you trading, Dan? Oh, quite the bounce there. MNQ, very nice. Who was it earlier that said they made $900 on one MQ? I can't remember. Somebody was like, they made not, which makes sense. I mean, one MNQ, they can still add up very quick. Come on, let's get 4 more likes. 4 more likes, and then we'll only be 10 likes away from the goal. Because the goal for this one, I mean, I'd like to get 100. We have hit that milestone, but I don't know if I'm being realistic enough to make 100 likes the goal every single live stream. But again, for those of you that are just getting logged on, I am trading and trading futures. With futures, there's no pattern day trading rule. You do not need a whole lot of capital at all. So if you have a smaller account, futures are very, very ideal, as I was just explaining and showing people. 62 likes. And again, if you have a request, if you'd like for me to take a look at a crypto you have or a stock or some sort of Forex pairing or another futures chart, let me know. I will do that for a $5 super chat. You can still make the request. I'm just not promising I'll get to it. But with the $5 super chat, I will get to it, and I'll get to it right away. So you are more than welcome to request something. With no super chat, like I said, I'm just not making the promise that I'll ever actually get to it. 64 likes. Come on, one more. One more. Yeah, I don't know. As long, I guess, I mean, my risk would be very minimal. Just stop below those lows if it wants to come down. There we go, 65 likes. All right, very good. Yeah, kind of a no man's land right now. So, we'll get rid of this for now. Okay, none of this is, I'm not a professional. Just giving my thoughts. I think that's an interesting trend line to keep an eye on moving forward. If it can break up through there, does that just give enough momentum to at least go up there and test the 50 period? And maybe you're thinking, again, I get it. If you're like in, depending on the stock or whatever you're watching, you're like, wait, huh? What kind of distance? That's barely any movement. That on my stock, that's like 15 cents of movement. And yeah, no, I get it. But in futures, that's potentially a a 40-point move, which is a whole lot. Take a short if it goes to the 5-minute 21 EMA. You think? That's at least your trade? All right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your trade. We'll see what happens. Again, I'm not trying to make these have like the most logic behind them. So I'm trying to walk a fine line because I'm trying to educate. I want to show people what you could expect from futures at the bare minimum volatility. But I'm also like, so I don't need the A+ setup, but I also don't want to just throw something out there randomly. Yeah, there is a hammer. There is a hammer on the 5-minute. So I could see this maybe pushing up here. That is a good call, Matt. Hi, Clay. Just signed up. Thanks for all the education. You signed up for a prop firm? Or you signed up for my community? Or you signed up for my training? What did you sign up for? I mean, I'm glad you signed up. Both. Oh, nice. So did you join the Inner Circle community, Marcelo? I am so bad at this. I am such a terrible salesman. I've not talked about anything that I offer. So if you are interested in training with me, I do offer private community. I'll put the link in the chat room right now. Good grief. Been on here for an hour and have not done anything. I'm a terrible salesman. So there you go. If you want to join me, you can, and other really good traders, some really fantastic traders. I am also doing a webinar this Thursday. So there's a link down below. But if you're interested in learning about, tools I'm using, how I build consistency, manage risk, and establishing the proper framework for trading. A lot of people show up thinking that they're doing things that make good sense, but they're actually not. So just to make sure that you're in the right framework with things, you can check out a couple of those links. All right, we are right at that level. Yeah, so good. All right, so I'm just going to get short here, and I want you to watch this number down here and ask yourself, how do you feel about that volatility? That is the core goal here. Ooh, hey, I don't know. That recovered up pretty quick. Maybe I should be long because there is that trend line. There is the break. 66. Man, this is volatility. If you wanted to forego the prop firm and purchase one contract of NQ on your own, it would require $19,560 of purchasing power instead of the prop firm subscription fee, correct? Yeah, well, there's a breakout. Well, I don't know. Maybe some of you had that trend line drawn already and took that trade. Granted, I did say potentially up to the 50 period, so I guess it hasn't quite hit that yet. Get why SPY is long. What do you mean SPY is long? You're long in the SPY? What does the SPY is long mean? Yeah, so Mad Mac, potentially, yes. If you're using your own money, you're going to need a whole lot of money within the world of futures. But all the brokers kind of have different leverage and margin requirements, so it kind of depends. But yeah, the essence of what you're trying to get across there, Mad Mac, is you're going to need a lot more money of your own money to get involved in futures rather than just doing it through a prop firm. So that's $99 for 3 months of the Inner Circle subscription. Yeah, exactly. Yep. And thank you for noticing the 3 months. You read. Most people are like, $99 a month. I'm like, no. I do understand that most people charge things per month, but mine is dirt cheap. It's $99 for 3 months. And it's amazing what that does to keep out the drama queens, to keep out the pump and dumpers, to keep out the trolls. SPY was starting to get long through so there we go. There's a target. Well, congratulations if anybody took that. I could get short right here, though, just for the sake of it. Let's see. Okay, let me get my stop up here. Okay, so the number I want you to watch now is right here. And just ask yourself, how do you feel about it? If you're saying, that number, what's up with that, Clay? That is so slow. That's so boring. No problem. All you got to do to that is come up here and change that number higher. This is the bare minimum that it could be. We're looking at the absolute bare minimum of volatility that you could get for yourself. I'm going to move my stop loss down a slight. All right, there we go. This is a winning trade no matter what. My stop loss is in front of my entry point. Going to move it down some more and stopped out there. So there we go. So there was another example of that down there. But again, if you thought that was way too slow, I totally understand. So the solution would be, like I said, to make that number bigger. Well, how big could I make that number? Another good question. Well, that depends on the size of the account. But the bare minimum that you could get from the prop firm would be the 25,000. So within the 25,000, which cost you 105, you could have done up to 30 of that number. So the number where it was a 1, you could have taken that number as high as 30. Or if you did the $50,000 account, you could have taken that number up to 60. So hopefully you see just how volatile you can make futures. And that's why I like futures, because they allow you to control the volatility. Meaning if you want more, well, just add more size. Now, I do understand that you can do the same thing in stocks and options. But again, it goes back to well, how much capital is required to add more size, right? If you're, if you want to do, so to add more size, so to add one more share of SPY, that's $570. Or, no, I realize most people are going to, trade something less than that, but I don't know, Tesla. To quote unquote add more size for Tesla, I mean, for one share, you need over $200. But that's not the case with the futures. You just add it for way less. The 50,000 is only $14 more per month. Yes, and that is, I'm not here to say that any of these, it all depends on your strategy. My goal and what I'm trying to educate here is just show you the bare minimum that you could get for yourself. So the bare minimum is the 25 with the 30 micro contracts. But that trade that you saw me just make was with just one contract. Oh, man, did anybody take that break out of the trend line? Did anybody buy that? If I don't pass the test in the month, I will have to pay another month. But will the profits I made the previous month carry over? Oh, very good question. They'll carry over. But again, I would highly recommend, so this is something that I want to get across here, is you have a month to pass this test. Now, what I mean by you have a month is before you get charged again. That's why I encourage everybody, you can take as long as you want, but aim to get it done within a month, because after a month, you would then have to pay $105 again. Or if you're on the $75,000 account, you would have to pay $171 again. I don't want you to have to pay those fees again. That's why I say make it a goal to get it done within a month. And that is very, very reasonable within futures. And I think you're probably seeing why, because I mean, even the one micro, it's not like super volatile beast, but it's jumping around quite a bit. And I think that is the bare minimum. That is one micro contract. So, but yeah, I would say the goal should be to pass within a month to get to your pro account. And then as a reminder with your pro account, once you get there, that's where you start to make that money. Whoops. And right here on the pro, you get to keep 80% of what you make. And then pro plus, you keep 90% of what you make. But yes, you've got to first prove yourself, and proving yourself is being defined as, well, on the $25,000 account, you'd have to make $1,500, but you're not allowed to lose more than $1,500. And then, on the other extreme side with a $150,000 account, where again, this is wild, right? Because this number here, the one that I was like, now if that's too slow for you, you can always raise that number and make it higher. So how high could you make that number? Well, if you did the $150,000 account, you could have raised that number up to $150. So with this one, now a lot of people like the 150 because they're like, I want more cushion to the downside, and they allow you to lose up to $4,500. But again, it's all based on kind of, what your preferences are. If you want more, drawdown, as the term's called, just how much are you allowed to lose? If you want more of that cushion, then yeah, the $4,500 will give you that compared to, the $25,000 account where you have $1,500. But of course, on the flip side, you only need to make $1,500. On the 150, you've got to make $9,000, that's a lot to make within a month. But again, when you're able to go up to 150 of the less volatile ones, or 15 of the very volatile ones, I mean, it's possible. Oh, excuse me. Come on, let's get up. Hit the like if you're enjoying. Remember, hit that like button. Super chats are always welcome. Can we get up to 100 concurrent? That would be a record. We're at 92 right now. That's great. I did. Your trailing drawdown is 1,500 total in any period of time before you lose the account, no matter how much profit you make. Yeah, yes, exactly. Again, with the test, assuming I'm understanding right, for any of these tests you're making during the test phase, you want to make that and then be done. You're not, because anything above here during the test phase doesn't do you any good. other than putting you at risk of maybe losing the gains, and then all of a sudden you got to get back up to that level. But yes, during the entire test period, it's $1,500. You may not lose more than $1,500. So maybe I can get another trade here. Do I buy the back test of this trend line? Again, none of this is educational advice. Sorry, once you go pro account, no, once you build up a buffer, then you can, then 1,500 is always going to be the bare minimum. But after you make 1,500 force fed and anything above there, then that's the profit that you pull out because that's your cushion. So if you made $5,000, you could pull out $5,000, or you could leave it in there, and then all of a sudden you'd have a $6,500 buffer. Clay, you're the one who originally got me interested in the concept of day trading way back when. You're one of the only down-to-earth YouTuber traders on YouTube. Thank you for the kind words, Mac. I try to keep it down to earth. I know, I'm like one of the old guys. I'm like the get off my lawn guy on YouTube. Started the channel in 2013. So I've been around a while. Out for 57 points. Nice trade. Good job. Now my question is, was that with an NQ contract or an MNQ contract? So let's actually do some math. So just so everybody can see how fast things can add up. 3 MNQ. Okay, well, let's just do this. So somebody just got 57 points. Again, 57 points, MNQ. 1 point is worth $2 in the world of MNQ. Or excuse me. 1 point is worth $20. No, I'm sorry. 1 point is worth $2, and that's why 10 points would be worth the $20. But he had 3. So he had 3 contracts. Well, let's just do it. 57 points, and each point is worth $2. So he made that with just 1 contract. But he had 3, so we have to multiply that by 3, and he made $342 on just 3 of the very small ones. So I've been doing the ones, as you've seen, but he had the number 3 up there. So on that trade, over $300. And that would have been possible with a very small account right there, the $25,000, which would have cost you $105. So good job. Clay is intense, though. I don't know what you mean by intense. I guess maybe. I think I need a little more context that I'm intense. Are you trading the $25,000 account? This is a $150,000 account that I'm trading right now. But it might as well be a $25,000 account because the max I've done is 1 up here, which you can do in a $25,000 account or a $150,000 account. Because what I'm just trying to convey is the bare minimum that you could expect. Because I just want to expect, that way you can only get more volatile. Because if I'm here and you're thinking, whoa, that's way too volatile. It's like, well, no, that's because there's more size. But this is here. Okay, what is that? 66. Okay, so I'm going to look to get short right there at that red line, and I'll put my stop right up there. There we go. Don't follow me. This is not anything. But what I want you to notice, for the people that are maybe just getting logged on, is if the price comes up here, and by the way, did you notice this platform? I mean, how easy it is. Watch, I can cancel that order out, so there. But if I want to put in a trade plan again, okay, you know what? Let's do it right here. And then my stop will be right up there. So we'll see if this wants to break back down. That is a big stop, though, in all actuality. Hey, Clay, I just opened a 150,000 account through GPT. Hopefully you use my link. I'm curious how long it normally takes you to get the profit target on a new account. Do you play more risky on a test account to get it faster? King Buds, there is all sorts of schools of thought. I'm in the school of thought of just take your time, because you can still take your time and get it done within a month. Because I did use your code for it. Good. So let's think through this. So you just purchased 150,000 of buying power for $252. I do not want to see you have to pay that again. So I want you to get through the test within a month. But you have a month. Now you have to trade. The test has got to last at least 5 days. So there's minimum 5 days where you're in the test regardless. So on that note, I would say I'm kind of in the middle. Some people would say just be aggressive, get through the test phase, and just bulldoze through it. And again, there's all sorts of schools of thoughts. I would say I'm right in the middle. I'm not in the one extreme that says just take your time and it takes you 4 months. It takes you 4 months. Well, I don't want you to have to pay $252 4 times. I would say get it done within a month. But if it takes you 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks, that's totally fine. So take your time, but not too much time. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, okay, so Mark, who is a mod because he's part of my private community. He's gone through my training program. So Mark, who's part of my training program, he's been a long-time member, been around for, I don't know. We've known each other for years now at this point. But he said he trades 3 different prop firms, and he's up $5,700 just today. Which, I mean, again, you've seen how fast these things can move. It's not necessarily shocking. So force fed, did James answer your question then? And you did use the code. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm screwing around today with Dem trading on NinjaTrader. Your charts look much more user-friendly. Yeah, I tried NinjaTrader too. I like Tradovate quite a bit more. Hey, there's KC. You never joined. You never joined the community, but you're sick. Well, I hope you feel better. I will try to aim for the month goal. Yeah, and that's very realistic, King. Because you can do higher position size. So, but it's not the end of the world. I would just say I don't want you to necessarily have to pay that $252 again. But at the end of the day, you got to do what you're most comfortable with. If you're gonna do good, if you're gonna do gooder, if you're gonna do better with 2 months, then take 2 months. All right, we are about 13 minutes away from the hour and a half mark. So if you're enjoying, I'll go for another 15 minutes. But can we get likes up to at least 85 or get at least $10 in super chats? So we have about 13 minutes to get at least another 10 likes or get $20 in super chats. And I'll go another 15 minutes. We'll do some more live trades. Again, this is just my way of letting it be viewer dictated. I will, if people want me to keep going, well, then I'll keep going, and I can judge that based off of the likes or super chats. All right, I need to just get this line out of here. But very good questions here. Yes. So, and this is all futures through a prop firm. If you have questions on any of it, let me know. But the link is, if you use that link, you'll get the promotion. The promotion is really good, 30% off. And then normally when you would, there we go. Okay. Again, I'm sorry for those of you that have been here for a while. You've heard me say this about 30 times. I got a new computer built, so I have Windows 11 now, and I'm trying to kind of figure out where things are at. But so the promotion right now, yeah, you get the 30% off. But after assuming you pass the test, Chris, hey, all right. Yeah, we'll do another trade for Chris for sure. But after you pass this test here at 30% off, normally when you move into the pro accounts right here, in order to activate that, which all prop firms have, they have activation fees. Take Profit Trader would charge you $130. But the current promotion right now is 30% off plus 0 activation fee. So that's actually a really, really good deal. That's $130 value in and of itself. So previously the deal used to be 50% off, but then you would still have to pay the activation. So this deal is actually even better, I think. Let's do the math on it real quick. How would I quit smoking? What's up, Clay? Tell me how stupid it is and what I'm missing out on trading on a phone. I would never say quitting smoking is a dumb thing. There's no better day to do that. Does Tradovate come with when you buy a 50K account? Yeah. So when you sign up for any of these accounts during the purchase process, it'll ask you what platform do you want. So during the checkout process, just check the one that's got that. And that's the other nice thing is they set up the platform for you. So you just purchase the account and they'll go register you and then they'll just send you your login and password and then you can log right in. So it's not like you have to go to Tradovate and go through the whole, I got to set up a brokerage account. I got to, take pictures of my license. None of that stuff. So that's the other thing that I always forget to mention. That makes it very, very hassle-free is you just purchase the account, you select Tradovate, they'll create the account for you. And usually they get to you within like 30 minutes. They'll send you the login and password and you can get into Tradovate and start right away. I got distracted. I was answering another thing, though. What was I answering? Oh, yeah. No, I answered it about how it works when you... So, Chris... Oh, okay. Here we go. This is... What is that? No, come back up. What is... 62... So, I'll go short... Don't leave me behind. This is all very nerve-wracking. And, I mean, to be shorting down at these lows. So, let me bring over the 5-minute. So, right here, this white line represents the lows. Look at it. I mean, bounce, bounce, bounce. But if this fails, does that open up the floodgates? That is the question. Right here at about 522. If this 522 mark fails, does that open up the floodgates to the downside? Is there just pure carnage? That has got to be what everybody and their brother or uncle across the market is wondering about right now. Myself included. Maybe we can give that a try. Just take the... That's sketchy, though. I mean, if it snaps back up, if it's a fake break. Trade the break. We're still not at 85. Well, Chris did give us a $10 super chat. So make sure everybody thanks Chris. I mean, he's keeping this going for another 15 minutes. Viper train. Yeah, it's sketch again. Yeah, I don't know if I should take it. Only 35 points until it bounce. I can't. That's my pet peeve. So you're going all in right here, Bag? I'm just going to call you Bag. You're going all in right here. Your entire account, you're going all in right there? Bag, is that what you're doing? Are you going all in? Like, are you mortgaging your house? Are you putting everything on your credit cards? Are you going all in right there? That is my question to Bag. The answer better be yes, I'm going all in. I'm going all in. Come on, Bag, right? You're going all in at that level? All in? And now silence. Like I said, I'm all for putting on trades so people can learn and see what kind of volatility they can expect, and I don't need the A+ setup, but I need at least a little bit of logic. Friday, yeah. Friday I gave back. I mean, I was still plenty green, but it was rough on Friday. Here I think I've had all green trades. Bag silence is deafening. Anyways, until it bounces. You don't know if it's going to bounce. Don't say it's 35 points until it bounces. Now, if you said only 35 points until maybe it bounces, I'm all for that statement. Maybe it bounces, because you're right. That would imply that you're conceding. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it'll bounce. Maybe it'll bounce. And I can see that. Yeah, I would agree. Maybe it'll bounce. But to say 35 points until it bounces, you do not know that. And then he didn't even answer my... See? That's what happens. Then you ask... So I love when people make those claims. And you're like, oh, so you're all in? They're like, no. I'm like, why would you not be all in? You said it's going to happen. Well, and it's, it makes him rethink. Like, oh, I guess, yeah. It's like, don't talk uncertainties like that. I'm still new to options. I don't even know what contracts you're buying. Yeah, none of this... Yeah, these are not option contracts. They're just contracts. It would make so much more sense to me if you would just get an account. No, the risk wasn't worth it. What risk, Bag? That's my point. You said it's going to bounce. You said it will bounce. So what risk are you talking about? No, there was no risk. You said it was going to bounce. You said only 35 points until it bounces. So what risk are you talking about, Bag? Like I said, that's just one of my pet peeves. I can't stand when people talk like uncertainties. It's like, you don't know. You do not know what's going to happen. And Bag just proved it. 1 minute he's saying it's going to bounce. Now he's saying, well, the risk wasn't worth it. What risk? What risk? You said it was going to happen. Anyways, it's probably a stupid pet peeve. We all have our pet peeves, right? We all have our quirks. I think that's the right word. That's one of them. Now we got a bunch of people that are probably gonna start doing it just to press my buttons, which I'm a button pusher, so I get it. Good, Noah. Good for you. Noah and Daniel, let's go. Never a bad time to quit smoking. I mean, think about it just from a money standpoint. How much money are you guys paying? Like, how much does that eat into your cash flow? Like, a penny saved is a penny earned. So if you quit smoking, how much? I mean, you're earning that money. Penny saved is a penny earned. So you are getting paid to quit smoking. And from my understanding, with the taxes they throw on all that stuff, like, that's probably a lot of money coming out of your monthly cash flow that you will now be getting paid. $300 a month easy? Okay. So right there, you're now, and I'm just using my kills number, you're getting paid $300 a month to quit smoking. And think about it. And to get healthy. And to extend your life. I mean, you are one of the more confusing people I've come. I mean, again, I still have nothing but respect for you because on Friday you flat out disclosed how you did something really stupid that cost you $3,000. So I mean, like I said, nothing but respect for you to publicly confess that. But like I maybe it was a bad assumption, but I assume like you must have money. Like who puts $3,000 that willy nilly on something and that? But now you're acting like, was that like? Don't want to repeat. How can you repeat it though? How do you repeat losing $3,000? Explain that to me. I feel like right now I have failed explaining prop firms. How can you repeat losing $3,000? Yeah, how can you repeat that on prop firms? You lost $3,000 in one trade. Explain to me how you can lose $3,000 of your own money on one trade and with prop firms. I'm with you there. I don't want you to repeat it either. But that's like you're making an argument for prop firms because it's impossible for you to do what you just did using prop firms. Again, the question is, how can you lose $3,000 of your own money in one trade by using a prop firm? I can't. Exactly. And that's my point is if you just get into the prop firm and get into this platform, you're not going to be overwhelmed. It is what it is. I'm just trying to help people out. Just trying to help people out. Show them what's possible. 86. Come on. 14 more minutes. And I got to get a trade on here for Chris. But I'm still kind of waiting for something. I was hoping maybe it come down and we take a break of this trend line here. Because if it breaks here, does it at least go down to those lows? I could see that potentially making sense. It's stupid if it does nothing for you. Nicotine is so satisfying, though. Improves concentration, stimulates nerves. I'm justifying going back. Yeah, that seems like quite a bit of coping right there. You know what else really improves concentration? Just getting a good night's sleep. You know? So with a prop, they pay you a 1099 when you request payment, and you don't need to. Oh yes, thank you, Ron. And you don't need to deal with individual trades. Yeah, so that's the other thing. What Ron just asking about taxes. With prop firms, they pay you in a 1099. That's it. So all you do is give your accountant a 1099 form. There you go. That's it. Your accountant's not hurting his back because he's got 30 pounds of paperwork that's all your trades and this, that, and the other, and wash sale rule. I mean, none of that stuff. You get a 1099. So that's another thing that I always forget to bring up. Hey, Clay, did you really make $1,200 on micros today? No, not on micros. On micros down here, and you can't quite tell. This was micros, so this was MNQ. And then I did trade some NQ, which was up here. So no, I did not make all that just from the MNQ. Some of it did come, okay, all right. Some of it came from that, but I got where'd my cursor go? There we go. My risk profile is all jacked up when it goes up that high and comes down. I got to wait still a little bit. 97. 3 more, and we'll be at 100 concurrent. Yeah, this, when it came up so high, like, okay, I put the stop. Yeah, and now I have the 50 period. It's not clean right now. This is not really a clean setup. If I do go, remember the ideal here is I'm doing the bare minimum because I want you to see what would be the bare minimum volatility that you could expect. And you'll see that right down here with the way that number fluctuates. Now, I will be doing a trade regardless because Chris gave the super chat. But like I said, I'd like it. So I just get short here, put my stop right there. That's not a huge. Traders that save together, stay together. Or something. I heard Abraham Lincoln. Exactly. Looks like it wants to break down. Yeah. It's just weird. You know, my stop loss is just, that'd be pretty far away. Are you on Rumble and other platforms? No, I don't think so. Just YouTube right now. Should I be on other ones? I don't know. Remember, I'm an old guy. I'm like, you know, been around on YouTube since 2013. I don't know anything I don't know what the cool young kids are doing these days. Come on, 13 more likes. Let's get up to 13 more likes. So if we can get up to, I got to make it a little ambitious. If we can get up to 110 likes or another $20 in super chats, then I'll go another 15 minutes. So we'll make it a 2-hour stream. But we need 110 likes or another $20 in super chats. There we go. So we have about 14 minutes. So I'll let you guys dictate if you want the stream to continue or if you're been satisfied with what we've had. Okay, now if this thing wants, ideally, it just consolidates out a little bit more. That way I can use the EMA as my stop, and then I'll have a much closer stop to where my entry point would be on the break. But I want to see a little bit more of sideways action here. So that's the current goal. No, don't do it. Don't do it yet. Bounce off. Bounce off. Do not break now. We need a couple more candles. Good. Look at that. Right off that yellow line. Power of charts. What number is a purple line? Purple line, that's a 50 period moving average. Omega, odds fine. Shorts, sometimes they might go viral, and I recommend staying away from Twitch. Interesting. No. Dirty dog. Buy 650 accounts in 1 month. Well, with Take Profit, you're only allowed to have 5 accounts. And then that's the other thing for people that are maybe wondering about prop firms. Not only, are they great for a variety of reasons, but then you can copy trade. So with Take Profit Trader, you can up to 5 accounts. So you can make one trade, and let's say that trade is, $200. But if you copy it to the 4 other accounts, well, now you've made that one trade 5 total times. So if you make one trade for $200, but then you copied it to those other accounts, you actually just made $1,000 because you would have made 5 $200 trades. So that's the other really cool thing about prop firms is a lot of them allow you to copy trade. Now, of course, if you don't know what you're doing, that can spin out of control against you very quickly. But once you do, establish a strategy and get things figured out, yeah, the money can add up quite quickly. 91. Okay. We're cruising right now. 91 likes. Maybe we have a chance at 110. We'll see. All right, I really need to just get something on for Chris, but trying to recover back above that line. Yeah, it's still that. Look at the 5 minute. Look at the 5 minute. Descending triangle. And then look at good grief, right? Like, there's guarantees in the market, right? I mean, if this thing fails, it's got to just plunge, right? That's guaranteed to happen, isn't it? Like, for sure. What are the top 3 prop firms? I don't know. I just go with Take Profit Trader. Probably not the smartest thing to do. Did I just miss it? Not that I would have taken that trade anyways, but boom. Very nice move down through there. Woo! Why? Why couldn't you have just given me one candle more and then done all of this? Again, my stop loss location, I did not have a comfortable stop loss location. You heard me explain things. I just needed to consolidate a little bit more and then go. and it did not do it. You took the trademark. Good job. Ooh, quite the bounce, though. Yeah, now it's a little worrisome. Hopefully people didn't chase that short down. Disappointing. That's how it goes sometimes as a trader. You want just a little bit more so the risk profile kind of corrects itself a bit, but the market doesn't wait for you. I got the breakdown to the support. Good job. Good job, Trent. Clay, do you take caffeine? Oh, yeah, I have coffee every once. I'm the guy that like does a mug of coffee and then drinks like a quarter of it, maybe half. So yeah, I mean, I'm not anti-caffeine, but I'm not like one of these guys that has eight cups a day. 92 likes. Can we at least get up to 100? Let's go. Do I try to catch the falling knife? Maybe I could do something here. I mean, highly likely to lose in trade. 88. Could try that. Or do I just get short here? Now I have a stop right there. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. So what I want you to do is watch this number here. For those of you that are maybe new to futures, what kind of volatility can I expect if I'm going to make this change? I'd like to see what kind of volatility to be expected. So watch that number right there. If that number is moving too slow for you, very easy solution. You could come up here and change that number and make it higher. How high could you make that number? Well, on the if you did the minimum size account, you could change that number up to 30. So right now, this is just 1. This is bare minimum. So just watch that number. Again, the green line here is my stop. If it pushes to a new low, I'll bring my stop down. Uh-oh. Am I going to get stopped out? I'm stopped out. So that was a losing trade, but there you go. So watching those numbers again, if you're like, that was a little too slow for me, well then on the 30 or on the bare minimum account size that you could get, which is 25,000, you could have taken that number that I was pointing out. You could have taken that as high as 30. If you still think 30 would not be good enough for you, if you were like, no, I want that volatility, boy. Give me that volatility, boy. Then you could come to 100 and you'd be able to take that number up to 120. Or you can do somebody, who was it? King Buzz. King Buzz said he just recently got a $150,000 account. So King Buzz could have changed that number up to 150. 150 if he wanted. Oh, you dirty rat. Come up here and stop me out and then come back down, you dirty rat. Do you watch QQ and SPY while trading futures? No. I just watch the futures. No, I watch multiple time frames, but no, I don't watch that other stuff. How do I see the same thing you are seeing? Meaning when I type in MNQH or MQ, I cannot find the chart with that ticker. Well, I don't know what platform are you on, Frank? Yeah, exactly. Give me that volatility, boy. I need that volatility. Made another 131 on paper. Good job, Emmy. Yes, I am doing. Why are you doing one micro? Because my goal here is I have said it and I'm going to continue to say it. I am here to spread the word of futures. Because I remember when I got started as a broke college kid, I wanted to be a day trader. And then, would you have $25,000? No. Well, sorry, you can't be a day trader. You get 3 day trades every 5 days. And then I was forced to have to hold garbage stocks overnight. It was just a mess. And futures were around back then. I didn't know of futures. And, and the one thing that's new within the past, I think 5 years, are the micro futures. So we're really nice because it used to just be all you could do was the very volatile contracts, the NQ. But now, like I said, 5, maybe even more than that, they've added an MNQ, which was brilliant. Truly a brilliant move to add in the MNQ because it allows people that have no idea what they're doing to slowly scale in. And that's what I'm trying to show you here is the bare minimum volatility, because that was one contract of an MNQ contract. Hi, I just bought your package and thanks for the opportunity. Which package are you talking about? I'm learning now when people say I just signed up for your thing. It's like, well, do you mean you signed up for the prop firm? You signed up for my train? Okay, so you signed up for that. Very good. Clay knocking on doors. Have you heard the good news? Yeah, it's pretty much like I have no reason to. I mean, that is my motivation. I'm here to convert people from stocks, options, forex, and crypto into futures because I truly believe futures make the most sense. And I know some people will say, well, you're just doing that because you want them to sign up for the prop firm because then you get paid through and it's like, nope. It's like, don't attack my business model, attack my argument. Like, and I've had yet nobody tell me and give me an argument that makes sense. And again, the first point would be for if you're in a stock or an option, like what's the argument against the no pattern day trading rule? Like that's going to be a tough argument to beat in and of itself. Like tell me how is it better to be under the pattern day trading rule when you want to be a day trader than not have to deal with it? To me, that's a losing argument right there. Again, don't attack my business model. Attack the arguments that I'm making. So that right there. Somebody last week was like, well, I'm using a broker that doesn't have fees. I'm using like Robinhood or something like that. There's no fees. It's like, okay, well, that's fine. But are you really willing to just sacrifice? So you're basically saying this. I'm okay with only 3 day trades per 5 days, but at least on those 3 trades, I don't have to pay any commissions. I would rather say, no, I'd rather pay commissions, but be able to make 30 day trades or 300 day trades. So to me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. The no commission argument. Well, stocks and options, there's brokers where there's no commission. In futures, you have commissions. And first off, the commissions are dirt cheap. I mean, for the micro futures, for this, it's 25 cents to buy per contract, 25 cents to sell per contract. Ayuma, I apologize for mispronouncing your name. Watch your videos and beginner. Where can I start? Well, as far as what I'm offering, again, I'm worst salesman ever. I really am a terrible salesman. So if you want to start with what I have to offer, I do offer a private community. Got a lot of good traders there, like traders way better than I am. People, I mean, making a lot of money there. So you can learn there. I am offering a free webinar this Thursday. So the link is down below if you want to get signed up for it, but go over kind of what I'm using, how I build consistency, how I'm managing risk, how the tools should be used, how they should not be used, approaches that seem to make sense but don't actually make sense. So if you want, like I said, the link is down in the description area to get signed up for the free webinar. And then I also offer, I always forget, I can just link it here, can't I? I can just link it right there. There it is for the free webinar this Thursday. And then if you do want to learn about my educational package, my structured education, where I take you through first learn about this, then learn about this, then learn about this, because it makes the most sense to learn about it in that order. And I've learned that because the program started back in 2013, and over a decade of time, I've gotten feedback from people. Remember when I was short and then I got stopped out and now look where it's at? But over a decade, I've listened to people, I fine-tuned it. So if you're looking for structured education where you're learning about things in the order that'll help it make the most sense to you, then that is what you're getting. I mean, you're of course free to go on YouTube and learn about stuff in random orders and some of it might even be bad information. I mean, do what you want to do, but if you're looking for a structured approach to learning, then that's what that'll give you. Let's get 2 more likes here. If we can get, I'm willing to get a little. If you want to see me get more aggressive, then that's either going to need to be $20 in super chats or 115 likes, and I will get super aggressive. Super aggressive. So you'll see these numbers down here get real spicy. But that'll need to be, I guess by 2 o'clock. Because we already have accomplished the... But yeah, if you want me to get... Because right now I'm doing the bare minimum. Just trying to show people this is what you could expect, the bare minimum. But if you want a little bit more aggressive trading, then yeah. Either $20 in super chats or, like I said, 115 likes. Well, that trend line played out very, very nicely. Unfortunately for me, like I said, I was, I guess, in hindsight, way too picky. I mean, look at that. Look at that beatdown. Look at that trend line. Look how steep that thing is. Crazy. Once you pass the 1500, are you then able to take payouts, or is there another step? Where did it go? No, once you pass the test, then you move right into the pro account. The only thing is, with the pro account, you would get to keep 80% of what you make. Up almost 1,200 on the day. The way I understand it, I don't want to make more than 14 on the. Yes, exactly, Daryl. So Daryl, if you are on the $50,000 account, yeah. So you do not want to make, because your profit target is 3,000. You're not allowed to make more than 50% of that in a single day. So yes, 50% of that is 1,500. So you're right, Daryl. You do not want to go over $1,500 in the same day. There you go. I mean, yeah, what you have to lose, I don't know what size account you're going to do, but what you have to lose is the cost of the account, which is not much at all. I was doing crypto, and now I am futures because of Clay. Best decision. Okay. So Noah, do you have any like experience with stocks or options or anything? Clay, did you get any sales training? No. No. I did get real estate training though. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, Clay, you just recommend your stuff. You just say get your stuff because you sell stuff. And that's a more than fair argument, but my counter to that, and why it's one of the first videos I ever did, was this right here. So I did teach myself trading way back when. It was a miserable, very, very costly experience. So then when I got into real estate investing, I was like, I'm never doing that again. And I went out and I did this video where I totaled up everything that I bought, and it was like just shy of $5,000 with what I got in real estate investing. So I genuinely do believe to invest in your education. I believe there's value in structure. There's a time efficiency of things when you just have somebody teach you in a structured way as opposed to trying to do it yourself. So yes, I get it. I understand the argument. The only reason you say that is because you sell stuff. Fair enough. But right here, I spent a whole lot in real estate investing. It was the best 5,000 I spent. I've made, I'll put it this way. I paid back that 5,000 quite a times over within real estate investing. Thanks, got lucky today. Blew a couple accounts already before. Yeah, blowing accounts a part of it. So I should note that, like, you will blow up accounts, and that's okay. That's part of the learning phase. That's part of kind of trying to figure things out. So there's no shame in blowing an account. But that's just why I like the fact that they're so dirt cheap. Like, if you blow an account, sure, like with a $100,000 account, for example, sure, you quote unquote blew it, meaning you lost more than 3,000, but did you actually lose $3,000 of your own money for the learning experience? No, you paid basically $230 for a learning experience, which goes back to the point I was making earlier. We're all going to have those moments where we're like, oh, whoops, that was really dumb, or whoops, that was really crazy, but I learned a lot. So the question just becomes, what does the but I learned a lot actually cost you? Does it cost you $3,000 of your own money, or does it cost you $231? I would rather have the but I learned a lot cost me $231 as opposed to $3,000. You were a lot better looking back then. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I'm one of the best looking human beings you're ever going to come across. I mean, that's just kind of the facts of the matter there. Hey, 100 likes. Yeah, if this wants to come up a little. Yeah, let's do this. I'll get short there. Stop is there. Okay, so if I do get filled again, if you're wondering how volatile is futures, watch that number right there. I'm doing the bare minimum of volatility to be expected, but the prices first got to come up and hit that red line for me to get short. So again, if you're wondering what is the bare minimum, oh, don't, we just dropped below 100. Come on, let's keep that above 100. Come on now. Done trading for the day, up 545. Fantastic. Good job, Cornell. Okay, I could do something a little different now. So I mean, look how great this platform is. If I want to cancel things, just come up here, gray button, boom, both my orders gone. And also notice how I'm entering orders just from the chart. Clicking, and I can sell or do a buy stop right there. Been following watching your videos from day one. Good to see you're still out here. What's it been, 15 years now? Almost. Started the channel in 2013. So you're close. So you must be an old guy like me, if you remember me from back then. Another old guy. Very smooth platform. Yeah, glad you like it, Cornell. Oh, did Noah ever answer? Because I asked Noah if he did stocks and stuff before. I can't be convinced on futures. I can't do deep dives into the financials. Can't discover an unpolished gem. Oh my goodness. And then watch it shine along with your bank account. Pfft. Well, you're not a day trader, so you're not in the category. You're some sort of investor, so you're not even in the category that I'm making an argument to. But even if you were a day trader, but you like fundamentals, well, then you can still come up with, you could go out there and do a deep dive into coffee beans and be like, I think coffee beans are overpriced for these reasons. And then you could go and short contracts and turn into a swing trade. So, I mean, futures still allow you to do fundamental analysis, but yeah. What you described there is not a day trader. You described some sort of like value investing. So yeah, that has nothing to do with my claim. So the reason I cannot convince you is because I'm not trying to convince you. Because as I've said, I am trying to convince those interested in day trading. But I don't know. Like, if you enjoy doing it, that's cool. Like, I'd rather just trade charts. I don't have to put all my, well, then again, I have 6 kids, so I'd rather spend time with them than having to do a deep dive into financials. No, thank you. Like, anybody got a baseball bat? If so, can you hit me in the face with it? Deep dive into financials? Nah. But again, if some people enjoy that, that's fine. I just don't have the time for that. I'd rather hang out with like family and friends compared to doing a deep dive into financials. Is there a way to trade futures while working full time and not being able to watch the candlesticks all day? Yeah. No, you can do that. You don't need a bunch of time. Like, again, the trades that I've made so far have been, I mean, what, like 2 minutes maybe at most? You don't need a whole lot of time. What was the question though? Can I be? Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Exactly, Evil Shade. Yeah, they're open all the time. Like, can I set the trade night before and the same moment set the account I'm willing to lose? Yeah, like this. Let's say you wanted to buy right here. So, okay, watch this, Frank. You could do this. You could say, I want to buy right here, buy, and then I'm like, I want my stop right there, sell stop. Then you could walk away, and there you go. There's your trade plan. See how easy that was, Frank? Or on the flip side, if you're like, okay, I want to short right here, and then but my stop is going to be up here, and then you can walk away for the day. And if you get hit, you'll be in, and if it goes against you too much, you'll be out. So yeah, you don't need to like monitor the thing every second of the day. Let me click that gray button before I forget. That would be rough. Oh, really, me? I pictured you as a younger person. Okay, all right. You come across as young. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult. I'm not trying to insult you, but you came across as younger. Yeah, you do have to factor in the drawdown. So, so what I've been saying from the beginning is it's always $1,500. That's the amount that you can lose is $1,500. Like if you make $500, that doesn't become $2,000 that you could lose. Like it's always $1,500. So the test here is you have to make $1,500, but you may not lose $1,500, and it's always $1,500. So that is a valid point. 25 years as a drunk. Well, I assume you're no longer a drunk. So Ben's okay. Ben's over for 21 years. Awesome, man. Good job. Congrats. That's fantastic. Yeah, got to lock in those profits. That's for sure. And that's the other thing that I meant to bring. The other reason why I'm so passionate about prop firms is a lot of people are like, well, it's hard. It's hard to pass a test. It's like, well, the reason why it's hard is not because of the prop firm. It's because trading is hard. And if you don't believe me, I'm not asking you to believe me. Go take your own money, use your own money, and go trade without any rules. Let me know how that turns out. It's not going to turn out well. But prop firms do force you to have rules. And these rules are forced to get you to be in more of a risk management mindset, which is the key to trading. So as somebody that is new or struggling, that's probably what you need. You probably need somebody to crack the whip and be like, hey, these are the rules, and the rules are designed for you to manage risk. Yes, do the rules make it hard? They do make it hard, but trading is hard. And trading, you're going to last a lot longer with risk-defined rules as opposed to going out there with no rules. So sure, you can behave as however you want, but people that behave however they want, that's where the losses can get really big. And then those losses go back to the point. That's your money too. Mohammed Clay, do you think you should be profitable before signing up for a prop firm? No. Nope. In fact, I think a lot of people would argue that prop firms give you more time to learn because, again, it goes back to the argument. If you're an unprofitable trader, you're out there doing a bunch of dumb things. In a prop firm account, a dumb thing, sure, you may lose $1,500 and fail the test, but that only costs you $105 to do the dumb thing, to learn from the dumb thing. Whereas if you're doing your own money and you lose $1,500 because of the dumb thing, well, you just learned a lesson for $1,500. Whereas you could learn the same lesson for $105 if you're doing it in a prop firm. So I think prop firms are the ideal spot for a new trader or a not profitable trader because it's going to give you more time to stay in the game because, again, your losses are not totally coming from your account. Again, a $1,500 loss is not actually coming from your account. It would only be the $105 that you paid for the test. The math ain't mathin'. I mean, 52 years, 21 years sober. Oh, he was probably just a typo. Tough crowd. Does that answer make sense, Mohammed? On how it's cheaper to learn through a prop firm? Because that was dumb, but I learned a lot. I would rather have the but I learned a lot cost you the $100 compared to, the $1,500. And plus, again, a prop firm is forcing you. It's forcing you to think about risk things. Like, wait, how much can I lose? That's a good thing. That's a good concern to have. It means you're focused on, well, I got to watch my backside here. I can't just go out there and do this because if I lose that much, then I failed. That is such a good thing. That's what you need to be focused on, right? Everybody shows up in trading. How much can I make? How much can I make? That has nothing to do with trading. A blind, drunk monkey can make money as a trader. Trading has to do with what you do when you're wrong. What do you do when you're wrong? That's for risk management. Now, I get it, like risk management. Like there's probably people just logging out now. This guy's talking about risk management, boring. It's like, well, that's actually what matters. I'd like to do one more trade so you guys can, we're almost at 2 hours. I've done several trades. I think I walked away with more than what we had. The one losing trade, right? But again, the goal here, as I just want to show people, is what's the bare minimum you could expect. Bare minimum. And if you didn't like the bare minimum, what is the solution? Well, you'd come up here and you just make that bigger. If you thought the bare minimum was too slow, no problem. Bread. Nice thing about futures, depending how you want to trade and the size you trade with, is a few seconds to a few minutes, you can make a good amount of money. For me, I look for 2 10-point trades on NQ. Yeah, no, exactly, Brad. So there was somebody else asking earlier about, can I do it if I have a full-time job? And it's like, definitely. You do not need a huge chunk of time. And Brad's comment there is exactly what I'm getting across. Well, Emmy, I'm just glad that you're no longer a drunk. I think that's fantastic. You're sober. And for Daniel and Noah, I'll try my best to remember you guys so I can try to help keep you accountable for you guys stopping smoking. Let's get some extra cash flow in your pocket. Penny saved is a penny earned. So just look at it as when you're like, you know, trying to break through it, you're getting paid to suffer. Thanks, Duke. Yeah, thanks, Alpine. I brought that up a couple times now, but Alpine brings up a more than valid point. It's a two-sided sword, but once you know what you're doing, Take Profit Trader allows you to have 5 accounts, so and then you can copy trade. So you can make one, let's say you make one $500 trade, but you copy it to the other trades. Well, you just made $2,500 because that one trade got copied. So you can, like I said, make the gains can add up quickly, but that, like I said, it's a two-sided coin. If you don't know what you're doing, the losses can add up very quickly too. Why 2-minute chart? Well, it's not just a 2-minute. I'm watching things off screen too, but I like the 2-minute. 1 minute, and there's no holy grail. So if you disagree, nope, more power to you. No problem with that at all. But 1 minute can be a little too choppy at times. I think the 2-minute kind of smooths it out. There are some members that use a 3-minute in our 3-minute in our community. I do believe everybody should use a 5-minute though, just because a lot of people use a 5-minute, and that's where you can get some good self-fulfilling prophecies. So the 5-minute is one that I'm not very negotiable. 2-minute totally negotiable. If you think 2-minute is garbage, yeah, that's fine, no problem. But 5-minute, I think a lot of people use the 5-minute, and when a lot of people are using the same time frames, and then you looking at the same things and wondering the same things, you know, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, you know, call it whatever you want. You know, when you have those sorts of situations, there's some, you know, you can put together some valid trade plans. Is this thing going to roll over or what? Let's do this. We'll try to do one more trade for those of you that are here. So I'm going to go short at the red line. Not the most best stop, but whatever. So what I want you to do, for those of you that are wondering, how is futures worth it? How volatile can they be? I'm doing the bare minimum volatility. I'm trying to do one of what's called an MNQ contract. So then I want you to watch this number down here. And if you think that number is moving too slow, if you're boring by it, if you're sitting there saying, I need the volatility, boy. I need some volatility, boy. No problem. You would just go up there and you could change that number and make it larger. How large could you do it? Well, if you do the bare minimum account being 25, you could change that one up to as high as 30. So just keep in mind, if I get filled, which I'm about to, I think. How did it? Okay, well, we'll see if it wants to try again. But you could change this number up to 30. So the number that you see, if it is not good enough for you, just realize you could change it up to 30. All right, I don't like that entry anymore. I'm going to find one though. 2-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, and 1 hour all on one monitor. Nice. Oh, we're over 200. Or we're over 2 hours. That's all right. This has been a fun stream. Fun group. Real fun group. I think we got up as high as 97. So almost 100. But that was a record. This day has been tragic. Oh, sorry to hear that, crackhead. Hopefully your trading was in a prop firm, though. So those tragic losses just caused failed tests, not actual huge chunks coming out of your real account. Oh, not in a financial way. Well, whatever way it's been tragic, I hope things get better for you. $92. All right. Again, I'm an idiot. Don't follow me in any of these trades. I'm not claiming there's any logic. All I'm claiming is I'm just trying to get a trade on so that people can get an idea of what sort of volatility they could expect if they were to make the move into futures trading, which I think is the move to make. From a day trading standpoint, options, stocks, Forex, crypto, all garbage, pure garbage. And I've made my court case already. But if that comment just offended you, reach out to me, clay@claydraw.com. I'd be happy to give you my reasoning. Or just really, I guess, if that comment offended you, wait, did this guy just tell me what I'm trading is garbage and a waste of time? Because I want to be a day trader. What do you mean that's a waste of time? I'll throw this in here. in the chat room. You can go watch this. It'll be my court case. Now, there are more 3 reasons, but I'm giving you 3 big reasons here. So those are the 3 big reasons why you should abandon ship on whatever else. Futures took off last couple of years. Yeah, as they should. As they should. I mean, I just got my community finally convinced me to try them back in November, and I'm like, man, I'm an idiot. Plus, from my standpoint, it's so much easier to relate to people. Because, like, yeah, it's cool. Like, for my live trade videos, if I'm trading, like, Tesla, I have 500 shares. I get the critique. People are like, well, that's cool, dude, but I don't have $90,000 to put in a trade like you're doing on that trade. But now with this, like, everybody can relate to it. Assuming you have at least $100, then yeah, you could be doing the same thing. I only trade cash account. See, the problem with the cash account is you have to let money settle. So yeah, you don't have to deal with the pattern day trader rule, but then you have to wait for the cash to settle, and it's just a hassle. It's just a hassle. So SLY, you could get into futures trading and not have to worry about the pattern day trading rule at all. All right, I'm getting I need to just get on a trade here. All right, okay. So I'm in. There's very little logic here, but watch this number and ask yourself, how do you feel about how that number is changing? If you think that is too slow, if you're like, worse, this is so boring, then all you'd have to do is go up there and adjust that number. And for the smallest account that you could do, that number could get as high as 30. So just keep that in mind. Hey, there we go. All right, I'll just take that scalp right there. But there we go. So there is another one. And again, you can scroll back and watch those numbers and see how they fluctuated. And there's the trade. So I think while we're at 2 hours, 7 minutes, like I said, this was a fun one. Got up over 100 likes. Fantastic. Very good. So again, terrible salesman. I should have been talking about this earlier. But again, if you want to get started with futures prop firms, use the link at the screen. That takes you to Take Profit Trader. That's who I use. That's who I recommend. A lot of other people they'll recommend like a bunch of different prop firms. I'm more of a simplistic person. Just, I'm going to recommend what I'm using and what I find to be straightforward. So that's, can you do a wish you would have done a prop firm earlier? Go through the growing pains of stock and options that you have done in the past. Well, that's kind of what this video here is. Like, this will walk you through the reasons, and it kind of just gives you the, mainly the big arguments. Do capital gains tax apply? No, and that's the other good thing is with prop firms, you get a 1099, and that's it. So 1099 form, that's it. Hand your account the 1099, and you're good to go. To me, that seems like a very, very ideal situation within the prop firm world. Is instead of giving your accountant, 30 different booklets of 500 pages each, it's like, here you go. So they just do a 1099. But yeah. So if you want to learn more about the prop firm that I'm using that I would recommend, check out the link that you see on your screen. It's also a link down below. If you want to trade alongside me and other really good quality traders, check out my chat room. It's $99 for 3 months, so not $99 per month. It's amazing what the $99 will do to keep out the rift draft and the trolls and the pump and dumpers and everything else. So check that out. And then if you want to get signed up for this free webinar I'm offering this Thursday, there's the link for the free webinar. And then if you want to learn about my structured education program that I offer, that's been around for a long time and has been fine-tuned over the years, you can check on that. So if you're looking for structured education, that's not a holy grail. That's not a magic pill. Nothing I sell is a magic pill or holy grail. I'm just selling structure. I'm selling time efficiency. So if you want to learn in a way that's going to make sense to you, save yourself some time, then that is what I'm selling. But do not sign up thinking like, oh, so I'm going to learn your magic strategy. No, there are no magic strategies. No more stainless steel muffler stocks for you. Oh, man, I thought I was going to be so rich on that thing. All right, well, that's all I have. As always, let me put this in the chat room. If there are any other questions, give everybody my email, clay@claytrader.com. By all means, feel free to send me an email. Hey, Clay, are you no longer in Grand Rapids? No, I am in Iowa now. Moved to Iowa in August. So I expanded the real estate portfolio, picked up some farmland here. We're going to build on the farmland here, and because I'm really into the outdoor stuff. Messi or Ronaldo, I am not into soccer. I am not a soccer fan. So I have no, I know who those guys are, but I have no, Wyoming here, no state taxes. Very nice. Yeah, I hear Wyoming is. I looked at Wyoming, but that's a little far away from Michigan. Sold your property in northern Michigan as well. Yep, yeah, that's gone. Now I have a good chunk of acreage here in Iowa, and as a deer hunter, it's kind of a cool spot to be for deer hunting. And then, like I said, have farmland on it, so that pays for my property taxes, pays for what'll be the home insurance. So it's one of those things where if you buy a home, you never technically own the home, because if you don't pay your property taxes, it's like, okay, you're not going to own that home. So there's really no such thing as ever owning your home outright. But so my goal has always been, well, wouldn't that be cool if I could get like something that's on the land that'll pay my property taxes for me, even if I do nothing work-wise, like my property taxes will still be paid, and therefore my home is officially paid for. And farmland is one of those things that allow you to do that, which was not possible in Michigan. Michigan, I won't go on but Michigan tax structure is just a joke. It's hard to cash flow there. So yes, cash flowing and trying to make investments and stuff like that work from a land perspective in Michigan, no. Especially if it's not your primary property, then they hit you with a non-homestead tax, which jacks things up. So my family and I go to Grayling, Michigan. Oh yeah. My northern property was like an hour south of Grayling. Trailing stop available on Tradovate. I think so. I don't use the trailing stop, but yeah, I would assume it is. Does anybody here know? I think it is, but I guess I can't say that for sure. I mean, I would assume so, but I've never used it, so I don't want to say for sure, but there is a lot of functionality. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, the ATM. So, yeah, right here you could do it, and then you could do, stop loss type. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, yes, it is. Trailing stop limit. So, there we go. All right, well, thanks for the questions at the end, because it is a chit-chat, so I don't mind just talking about random stuff, too. Oh, should I take another one? What would that, 20... Is this thing really going to go down more? You guys have you've seen enough. You've seen enough. I'm going to move on. So everybody take care. I appreciate it. And for those of you that hang out in the live streams, I'll be back tomorrow. Everybody have a good one.